smell it through there.
Yeah, it's darn. From yesterday, and my kids are playing all day, so all this. We really didn't open it. Like it is like stagnant air in here. Then I had to turn all the windows, and then I woke up this morning and like, I said, "You have open." We left the heat on, and the windows were open all night long.
Where are you from? Back surgery done as well so far.
Yeah, that's really well. In 2 months and then.
One of those scarier ones.
It's like first month was.
All right, it's Wednesday, April 22nd. I've got 5 o'clock. We'll call this planning meeting to order and we'll start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public forum. This is an opportunity for citizens to present items to the planning commission that are not on the agenda. Each presentation is limited to 3 minutes and a maximum of 15 minutes is set aside. If your item needs follow-up from the city, staff will arrange for that. Is there anyone here that's to speak for public forum? I'll give a second call for public forum. Is there anyone here to speak for public forum? Third and final call. All right. With that, we'll move along to consideration and approval of the agenda. Before that, I was hoping take a second to introduce our newest member. Welcome to the Planning Commission / Ordinance Committee.
Thank you.
Do you want to take a quick 30 seconds or to a minute, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Sure. I am Annette Weaver. I've lived in Pine City for about the last 12 years. I had started working at Pines Tech 15 years ago and I just fell in love with it here. So bought a small house in town and raised my boys. They're grown now and I wanted to be a bigger part of the community because I do love it so much. So here I am.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your service to the community. It's greatly appreciated. With that, any additions or subtractions from the agenda? If not, I would look for a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Motion from Tommy, second from Luke. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. With the introduction of the agenda, I'd just like to state that we do have a 6:30 hard stop. So if there are things on the agenda that we don't get to by 6:30, we'll have to table those items until the next meeting. So that's understood. Okay, on to the approval of meeting minutes. I'd look for a motion to approve the meeting minutes if everyone's had a chance to review.
The move.
Motion by Brian,
Second.
second by Tommy. Any further discussion on the meeting minutes? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, next we'll move on to number 6, public hearings. I believe we have 4 of them. Tabitha, do you want to start us off with 6.1?
So this is a minor subdivision and an impervious space variance request. It came in from Cole Newman, who owns Eagle Ridge Estates, and he applied for the subdivision to split the lots of the old cheese factory. On the new lot, he would like to build an apartment building. With everything on this, he decided to hold off on his site plan review, being that it does involve civil engineering and lots of extra money. So if this goes through the way it is, then he would seek a site plan review next month. That's pretty much the conditions on it, is we would need a revised certificate of survey to show the encroachments and easements of record. I do have the proof of title. And SCH did the review of this, and they said to approve the minor subdivision contingent on the revisions being met as cited above, and the variance for the impervious space. So the variance for the impervious space would actually be for both parcels, because they're going to increase the impervious space on both, and all based on an approved site plan review. And we do have Kevin here as well for any questions, if should there be.
Oh, sir, thank you for being here. Since this is a public hearing, we will open it up to public comment on the subdivision and impervious space variance request for 300 First Avenue Southeast. If you have something to say, please step to the podium, state your name and address, and please be glad to hear. Second call for public hearing on 300 First Avenue Southeast. Third and final call for the public hearing, 300 First Avenue Southeast. Okay, we will go ahead and close that public hearing and move on to 6.2, 825 11th Street Southwest. 2 parcel IDs with a rezone request.
So with this rezone request, with the potential of the structure that is going to go on the property, currently it is zoned as general business, and with what is being proposed on being put on the property does not fall within the guidelines of permitted uses with height or with SCH, they have met all the required criteria that the city has with, and then they just list out the few conditions on there. And
But this public hearing is just for the rezone.
correct,
Has nothing to do with a potential project. That's
Correct. just a rezone from general business to mixed use.
Okay, with that being said, if there's anyone here to speak on 825 11th Street Southwest rezone requests, please step to the podium, state your name and address. We'd love to hear from you.
Okay, my name is Deborah Larson, and I live at 795 11th Street Southwest. And I got a letter in the mail. I just had construction on one side of me through Hog Construction. And now I was just wondering about, I think this is what we're talking about, building a 50 apartment unit complex on the other side of me now.
There's a
'Cause I'm right
proposed
between,
project that would need this rezone request
Okay. So that, okay, that's what I thought, but I just want to make sure I spoke about it. Okay, so they're gonna go, so am I gonna get notified about that?
If the project moves forward, if the rezone request is approved, if there's still a few things that would have to happen for that project to be brought forward. So
Okay, and then I'll get a letter, correct?
as I believe as a property owner, you would be notified by letter.
Next would be a site plan review,
Site-
and they don't get notifications on that.
Okay,
If she'd like to be notified.
Yeah.
Can we notify people?
Mhm. Yeah, we can let you know when the site plan review will come before planning commission, yes.
If
okay,
it comes before. If it makes it to that.
Yes, if it makes it to that point.
okay.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? 825 11th Street Southwest rezone request? Third and final call for the 825 11th Street Southwest rezone request. Okay, go ahead and close that public hearing and move on to the special events on 6.3 ordinance 5.35.
This is our special events permit that we did review last week, the ordinance. And we have to have a public hearing on it with all the special events that we do have, and we have no teeth in the game essentially. And moving it from a zoning standpoint to a business standpoint so that it's more known out there and easier to find and phase it out. Gives more teeth and more review possibilities, which is what we're already doing anyway, so.
As this is a public hearing, if there's anyone here to speak on ordinance 5.35 for special events, please step to the podium. I'll ask again, anyone's here for ordinance 5.35 for special events, please take a step to the podium. We'd love to hear from you. Third and final call for public hearing on ordinance 5.35 special events. We'll go ahead and close that public hearing and open public hearing 6.4, ordinance 5.40 mobile food units.
So we went over mobile food units last month and shown the extreme difference between what is currently there and it's listed as an exception. So this one also will get moved up to the business chapter of the licenses and gives city staff more guidelines and teeth if anything were to happen and the requirement. Going forward with this is highly recommended.
This is a public hearing. If you're here to speak on ordinance 5.40 about mobile food units, please take a step to the podium. We'd love to hear from you. Second call for ordinance 5.40 mobile food units. Third and final call for ordinance on 5.40 mobile food units. Oh, you don't. We'll go ahead and close the public hearing portion of the meeting. Move on to new business. First item 7.1, 300 First Ave Southeast minor subdivision and impervious space variance request. Here we are. Commissioners, thoughts?
Seems to me like it fits well with the neighborhood and would be a nice improvement. Obviously, Cole does a nice job with this, the projects in town, so I think the city should be excited for this to move forward.
Vacant for quite a while now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been quite a while. Seems like kind of a perfect, in my opinion, it seems like a pretty perfect spot for something like that. With reduced traffic on the railroad. I mean, I can't speak for the person that owns the building, but I know that it's been shown several times.
I will make note that I actually did have the Minnesota DNR out there, and that's where the requirement comes from of the underground water, wastewater, stormwater retention comes from. Because everything off of that, the oldest part of the city, so everything over there has not been upgraded or anything, so once it hits that storm sewer, it goes straight to the river, and we don't want straight to the river, and the DNR said absolutely not, so.
And that's not an inexpensive process to invest in. in my experience, anytime we do it underwater or underground. And to me, it also supports, different portions of the comprehensive plan too. The comprehensive plan challenges us to do zoning regulation reviews, to pursue density, try to find things potentially unbuildable lots or unbuildable. Sure, sorry, I lost my train of thought. And to have housing available at all income levels. And I think that- in my opinion.
I guess I thought likewise that this is a really good proposal for that parcel that really can't be used for much else. The only thing I would like to see changed slightly is and I can't pull it up right now, the condition that says that no additional runoff can be allowed from the property. I'd like to see something that said as verified by the city engineer, because typically with something like that, how do you know unless you do a real engineering study?
So part of the site plan review, they would have to submit the
Yeah.
the stormwater retention plan.
Yep, I'm aware of that, but I just think it'd be good to put that in this condition, as long as we've got the condition in the
For number
Impervious
7, it
coverage.
says stormwater retention shall be implemented on site with pervious areas. State as approved by a city engineer.
or verified. I mean, I'd put verified, I guess.
Okay.
Don't want him to do a whole exhaustive study other than what he does for the site plan.
Mhm.
But just that he says, yes, they're taking care of it.
Right.
I think that'd be-
Because SEH is actually the city's engineer as well, so anytime we do reviews, the engineer does review these as well, so I can add that if you would like.
I tend to agree with Brian, not saying just from experience in the past with things not being in writing and then trying to go back on them and not being able to enforce something or have something accomplished because it's not in writing.
And I think engineering is important because when the city was doing my street, the first thing we saw was, oh, we're gonna have rain gardens. They hadn't taken into account the amount of water that comes off of Westchester Village. And by my house, it was, there's no way rain gardens would have worked. So I implored them, you gotta go back and change that, because there's no way rain gardens can handle the amount of water we're talking. So engineering is important.
And by no means am I trying to expand the project cost by stretch, but I think just that we looked at it.
As verified by
Yeah,
city
right.
engineer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a fair,
Mhm.
a fair thing to.
Yeah, that's condition 4 on the resolution.
Oh, I didn't look at the resolutions with it.
Okay. Any further discussion on this one? Or would someone like to make a motion one way or the other to recommend approving the draft resolution 2026 for approving the minor subdivision?
Motion adding the verified storm water.
I'll second it.
Motion by Tommy,
I'll second.
second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, motion carries. All right, now I would look for a motion to suggest approving draft resolution 2026 for the variance and the FOF. I don't know.
Findings of fact.
Findings of fact, thank you.
It just got really, really long and was starting to roll to the second line and made things reading.
One wants to make a motion on the resolution approving the variance and findings of fact for 300 First Avenue Southward. Motion by Tommy,
I'll second that.
second by Luke. Any further discussion from commissioners? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item 7.2, PID 42.0223.000 and 42.0226.000 rezone request.
I have to abstain from this one.
Thank you, sir. And the reason that you're abstaining is because you're the owner. Just have to have that in the record. Commissioners. Talk about this rezone request. Most thoughts?
It seems like a property that fits with mixed use. I have a little concern about getting too much mixed use because it's kind of like you're getting rid of your planning capabilities, but I've never liked use-based zoning anyway, so.
Right off the main drag there. Makes sense to me for mixed use,
With commercial on one side and
residential,
residential on the other side, which are apartments, a lot of them.
right?
Again, for me, called out in the comprehensive plan, it challenges us to pursue density options. It challenges us to challenge zoning regulation and reviews to make things make sense. And for me, this makes sense to allow a mixed use to potentially go here.
I agree. I think it's a very solid plan for use of the property.
Any further comments from commissioners? Right, if not, I would look for a motion to approve or recommend approval of the rezone ordinance.
I'll make a motion to recommend approving the rezoning.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, now we're on to 7.3. Same property ID numbers of 42.0223.000 and 42.0226.000 lot combination request.
With this one, part of the rezone was to combine the lots. For any type of bigger development like that, or any type of development, you're gonna want the lots combined. So, and he met all the requirements of the lot combination code that we have and state law, so.
I have to abstain again.
Okay,
I'll make a motion, we approve the lot combination.
I'll second that.
motion from Brad, second from Luke. Any further discussion from commissioners? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, on to 7.4, 5.35 special events ordinance.
I just want to verify, I actually did get a call on the special event permit ordinance. It calls out, so our current ordinance reads that it needs a $1.5 million policy. Most nonprofits that are usually doing the special events are required to have a $1 million insurance policy or a $2 million. And the $2 million is extremely expensive. So it was asked for you guys to possibly think about lowering it to $1 million policy. That's called out on page 41 or 42, number 4.
Do you have any idea what the difference in cost is between a $1 and $2 million policy?
Don't, I'm just told it's significant.
Okay.
Is there any reason why we have it at 1.5? Is there any other?
City's
City-
accepted it at $1 million for however many years this ordinance been in place. And it was just noticed, so. That's what it's currently, and then, so it was just asked if maybe we.
New construction, we only have had $1 million bonds, enough to 2 million to do other. 1.5 seems a little excessive. If 1 million meets the policy, that's in line with what he does insurance wise.
We already, yeah, only.
Yeah, it seems
So what are you looking for from us? We need
If you guys choose to approve it, I would ask that you approve it with $1 million insurance policy versus 1.5.
You said a lot of nonprofits are doing this. right?
Most special events are done by nonprofits in city limits.
One other slight concern. In reading the proposed ordinance, it sounds like this would apply to like Pizza Pub when they have food served on the street. And I was wondering if it might make sense to add that as an exception if a business has a license from the city to operate that way. It doesn't seem like they should have to have a special events permit too.
What do you mean serve food on the street? They have an al fresco permit.
Yeah,
This is only mobile food units. These are like the food trucks.
no, I'm talking about the special events ordinance.
Sorry. I think they would still fall under the al fresco because the al fresco doesn't.
Right, but it isn't clear in this special events ordinance. It looks like they would have to have both a special events permit and an al fresco dining license. And it seems like we don't need to have them go through two hoops to,
We don't
accomplish
require them
the
to have
same
a
thing.
dining license at all. We don't have a business license operation.
are you referring to like when there's different events around town and there's a business in town that sets up and sells by the slice or?
no, I think that's what the special events ordinance makes sense for. But reading through it, it looks like Pizza Pub would also have to apply for a special events ordinance in order to have their tables on the street. And I just think it would make sense to
Well, this.
only require one permission from the city for that instead of two.
This says any organized activity open to the public or a large segment thereof staged for entertainment, celebration, fundraising, expressive activity, or similar purpose that occurs on public property or requires closure or obstruction of any street, sidewalk, or public facility, or amplified sound on public property, expects attendance of 100 or more, requires city services or equipment, involves the sale of surface or sale of alcoholic beverages, presents objective and articulable impacts to traffic control, emergency access, sanitation, or public safety. But they already do their al fresco permit that's required.
Right, and that's my point. Since they already do that, we should put an exception or an exemption, I guess is the way it's phrased in this one, saying they don't also have to have a special events permit. Because there's nothing in the wording that says they don't. I mean, they meet the requirements to have one right now, the way it's worded.
Something along the lines like somebody who has a business that has a al fresco would be exempt from the special events.
Just add another exemption saying if they're a holder of a valid license from the city to operate in these ways, then they don't have to also apply for a special events permit.
Imagine that would apply to 320 also when they're.
Yeah.
As
long as they're within the parameters that the
Al
the
fresco.
al fresco covered.
Yeah.
And if it goes outside of those boundaries, then it would
Then
have
they
to
would
be
need to.
a special event.
Yeah, like they have their
Close the
big,
street.
big thing to close the street,
Yeah.
then they'd have to have it, but
So do we want to put B here and put al fresco dining exempt?
well, no, under 535.040, B is exemptions, and there are 4 listed.
Or do we want to
Just add a 5th one.
and put al frescos are exempt?
Al fresco permit holders or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone holding a
License.
valid license, whatever.
I think that's really good input.
They leave those barriers up all summer. It's hard to look at special event.
Yeah, I guess I looked at it, special events are usually 1 day things, not,
But it doesn't say that.
I know.
That's my point.
Any further discussion on the special events ordinance? Someone like to make a motion, with the proposed changes, or do we need to change it for anything? How's that?
I move we accept that with the edit that we just discussed.
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, item 7.5 or 5.40 mobile food units ordinance. Commissioners. I wasn't trying to.
Nope, nope, I'm good.
Thoughts, comments on this?
I thought this looked pretty good too, but, I have one concern. When we first started allowing mobile food units, there were several established restaurants in town who were very unhappy with it. And that's why we put in the 21-day limit for any year. And I don't see the 21-day limit anymore, and I think it might be a good thing to have. So the example that was cited back whenever that was created was there are a couple of mobile food units that set up all summer long in Cambridge, and the restaurants felt that it really damaged their business. So that was the compromise back then. I think
Fee
it's
schedule change, it's not a 21 day on the fee schedule anymore, so. I don't think.
Are they paying more now than you're saying with,
They're paying more and they have to be on private property. Unless a valid special event permit through the city for the park.
Any further conversation on this? We want to recommend approval, but for a motion for recommendation for approval of 5.40 mobile food ordinance update. Second call for a motion on 5.40 mobile food units ordinance.
I'll make a motion that we adopt it, but add onto the license terms that, that they can operate for no more than 21 days in any year.
Got a motion from Brian. There a second?
I'll second that.
Got a second? Any further discussion?
what does that do with the fee schedule, Tabitha? Does that screw that up?
I know I'd have to ask council.
Okay.
Probably will.
But to me, it seems, use the word fair, but established business paying taxes on buildings and stuff versus what the fee schedule is, but seems,
I think the fee schedule just, we removed it because we have not had anybody ever meet 21 days in the years that I've been here.
sure.
The
Also
most I
doesn't
think
mean-
we've had is 10.
Also doesn't mean that it couldn't be either, so like the Cambridge thing. I think it's gonna be a pain, but I think we should have some safeguard for our restaurants too.
They can pay another fee if they go over.
We just don't, we don't get to schedule them. We do all the scheduling. When they fill out their permit, they have to apply us the dates that they're doing and where they're going, and we just wouldn't allow them to go over.
Most of the time, it's gonna be something like 320.
Usually the only place that every once in a great while, we'll get a pop-up one like on the JCF corner or out at Ace Hardware. Or in the park, they
That
have,
doesn't go to.
They told more of the gazebo nonprofits. Or
Yep, but there's sometimes around the outside that have like.
In the case for 320, when the food truck is there, it actually helps their business. So I understand your point too. We don't want to hurt our businesses, but limiting food trucks in front of 320 might actually hurt them.
Except this is a license for an individual food truck, not for the
Not for
business.
320, right? It's for the individual food truck.
but a lot of
Big
people attend
Distinction,
320 for the food.
Right.
right? But he's currently bringing in at least a bunch of different trucks. That's a bunch of different permits coming in, right? Feast with feast, right?
So right now, so what we're saying is only one of them could only be there up to 21 days maximum of the year. If that don't have to be somebody at a different food truck. Right.
Correct, yep, each individual truck would only be allowed 21 days.
Any further discussion on the motion on the table? Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same sign. Aye. Motion carries. All right, old business, 8.1, Jack Bertrand, possible variance request discussion. PID 42.0242.000.
So Jack presented to you guys at public forum, and it is now brought back before you guys to kind of review the variance that he is looking at. He supplied all of the documents. I did supply the email from the county engineer for your guys' review. He's here for questions and presentation, discussion. Or you would like this to go forward, or?
I just, before we do anything, this has been determined to be an unbuildable lot, correct?
Correct.
And recorded as an unbuildable lot.
Huh?
And it has been told by the county that asking elected officials to consider this would be putting them in a position to prove something that's illegal.
Huh?
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there's anything for us to discuss. That's,
Why is it not buildable though? That's the thing, is it wasn't buildable because it didn't have a 30-foot depth on the building dimensions. Since then, the ordinance have changed and it is buildable. So whatever it wasn't buildable for before, that has changed since then.
but we have from county engineers that's not the case.
What do you mean?
That it's an unbuildable lot because it doesn't meet the setback.
It does meet the setback.
Wasn't there a steep shore
Yeah,
setback?
so it's 30 feet from the bluff and 50 feet from the
How much room does that leave in between?
very small amount. So you've got it, this planning report I sent you guys, but it's about 18, 19. So before that, it had to be 30 feet. That's why that was not. But it is buildable now because that has been removed from ordinance.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm going with what the county says here, got from county engineer on down that says that this is not,
Mark LeBrun,
Aaron Gunderson,
yeah, I've talked to him.
Kelly Condiff,
Yeah,
everybody from Rum River.
said what exactly, I think you update that because
The state of Minnesota statute setback is 50 feet from the county road. The
Right.
bluff is 30 feet.
Right.
And the variance that you're looking at goes outside that.
right, but it's still buildable. If I were to not ask for a variance, we could build a very small house. There's nothing to say it's not.
Right, anything under 400 square feet would require a conditional.
Yeah, it would be 600 square. This is completely buildable. We're just asking for a variance.
Yeah, legally grant a variance from, which is state statute on a county road at 50 feet. We can't legally vote against state statute.
Against the state, why can't you have a variance against state statute? The whole shoreline ordinance is based on state statute. Any variance in shoreline
No.
is a state statute. And 95%.
A road setback is not, you can't legally vote on it.
Yeah, you gotta go to Pine County for
It
that.
needs to go to a different board.
I believe that would have to go to the state because it's state
Board of
law.
Adjustment. State.
Yeah, I talked to the state and they said any jurisdiction, like at a city level, would be the one voting on. They have nothing to do.
But this is a county road. So that's, I would think the county would have to weigh in on any.
County.
Well, that's what
The county did weigh in.
County did weigh in.
Well, so I don't know what, you didn't send me that email. I didn't get that.
It's on the planning commission agenda
Well, I
that
didn't
went
get
out last week.
I didn't get that from you.
So the point
What
is,
can you just, yeah, I guess, can you tell me what they said in it?
the state statute.
It says they will not provide a letter of support, but they also said they have nothing. Is what they deal with is the right.
I agree, they don't.
They don't, but like when, initially, when this 2021 variance request happened, you guys requested, not you, I'm sure, different people, requested a letter of approval or of support from the city or the county engineer. And he said, why would we do that? We have nothing to do with it. We're the right of.
The county was the one that applied for the variance.
The county applied for it to begin.
Yeah, so we wouldn't request a letter of support from the county.
Well, you did. You asked literally from, was it the city engineer then? Who was more LeBron?
Mark?
That was in 23.
21.
It's a county.
The county engineer is who we reached out to. So at the last planning commission, you stated that you reached out to the county and they're in support of it. I reached out to get what they supplied to you, and that is the email response that we received back.
All right, so you did request it. If you guys read this 2021 MSA report, you wanted a letter of support from the county engineer. That is what you requested. And he's telling me, we have no skin in the game. Why would we give a letter of support or denial? We're right of way. They have nothing to do with your setback.
And the setback is set by state law.
Yeah, but yours absorb their state law. Your ordinances literally mirror their ordinance.
We can go above state law, but we cannot go below state law.
What does that mean?
We can be more restrictive.
More restrictive, but we cannot be less
Well, then,
restrictive.
so you can't ask for variance in these state ordinance.
You can ask for a variance inside everything.
So how is this any, yeah, how is that in here?
It's
Because
a road right away.
The state law doesn't regulate side yard setbacks. They just, in this case, the only one that's relevant to this proposal is the setback from a county road,
And the
which
bluff,
is state law.
and the bluff.
Yeah, and the bluff one too.
So what I'm trying to tell you is that we can't legally vote for it and give you a variance. What you can do is you can apply for a conditional use permit under the tiny house rule. And then come back with a 50-foot setback from the road and a 30-foot setback from the bluff. Then,
Why would that be conditional use at all?
because you need a conditional use for our tiny house.
It's not a tiny house though, yeah, it's.
It is a tiny house because it doesn't meet the, whatever the structure standard.
It does though. What are the structures?
What is it?
I don't have.
I don't have.
The mean by it?
They removed that as well on the last ordinances. It just says 400 square feet. Tiny home. So it's not, yeah, conditional use, but I'm just saying, so what do you recommend to talk to the state about county?
Well, you can go to the Board of Adjustment at the state and ask for a variance on your 50-foot setback. And don't think that we're against this. I'm the most.
Oh, for sure.
I'm the most pro development person I've ever
So am I.
And I'm just saying that I can't legally vote to give you a variance on a 50-foot setback.
Yeah, thank you for, yeah, your honesty with that. I think I've just talked to everybody, including everyone on that email. And they said, come to you guys. So I guess we're just getting.
Yes.
Tough, but we can go back, Board of Adjustment. I mean, that's something that you got a number for. I can,
You probably Google it out,
yeah,
yes, from the state.
I'll try that. But you're saying, so there's just no chance, you can do variances for every other county ordinance, but
This is city ordinance.
yeah, I'm saying it's adopted. State ordinance that you guys also.
Yeah, we're a statutory city, so we have to follow.
So, but if you have a shoreland ordinance that is 95% state shoreland ordinance, like you're literally word for word for 95% of it. Why do you even have that ordinance if you're just gonna say, go to the state?
We're required to.
But then how can you not make a variance? That's your ordinance.
We follow state law because that ordinance is very restrictive and we are surrounded by 2 lakes and a river that we don't want.
We just can't be less restrictive. We can't overstep them and say, no, we're gonna allow some more things to happen in the shoreline. We can be more restrictive, but we can't.
But only on road, just saying like side yards, you could be more.
Yeah, I'm talking about shoreline, county highway.
Yeah, I just feel like there's so many houses, like there's one getting built into a bluff like right now.
Probably not a bluff.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the definition between a bluff and a steep slope is
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I think it's 24 foot, 8 inches or something for a bluff.
That's weird, yeah. Okay, well, if we could ask you guys to look into, I mean, this whole not buildable thing, because that was previous ordinances. That's completely removed now, so there should not be any restriction on building.
We attended the initial land commission for planning commission meeting back in May of 2021. And at that time, they were concerned about the safety. It's a very busy corner. We live adjacent to this property. Getting out of the driveway, we look left and east, and we have a limited line of sight. Especially, they were talking about not even having a driveway. Concerns. When they park in the driveway, I sent a picture to them. It really restricts our line of sight. We've had Brent from the previous planning commission. He used to live in our house, and he echoed those safety concerns. He said, when you leave that driveway, you gotta go.
You don't back onto that. You can't back on, you can't back on there.
No, it's a 25-mile-an-hour posted speed limit. A lot of people don't go that. We've had somebody hit our garage, which is off the side, going 50 miles an hour. So our biggest concern is safety, and that's what the the planning commission and the city council basically designed it based on safety. I think someone asked, well, why didn't the adjacent landowner buy the property? It was deemed unbuildable and it was no fault of the landowner. It was deemed unbuildable when it was originally platted. It was platted where this one was too small because they didn't take into account these setback requirements.
Most of the houses around that corner are, once everything was platted, became non-conforming immediately.
Yeah, it's not a new
No,
situation.
It is tough, and I want it to be as safe as possible. I sat out with Debbie and looked at it and said, the trees go all the way to the right of way. So we're 30 feet back, and that's with the variance. So I was just showing her, you can't see through those trees. So our house would actually not restrict any line of sight. Right now, our car does because we're right off the road. We don't have a driveway. 15-foot driveway.
The planning commission, they were even, I can't see even adding a driveway.
Well, yeah, you've got another entrance coming out to that goofy corner. Just it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And I would think the county would have to weigh in on a driveway permit right there. too.
Well, the county built our driveway.
Oh,
We put it in, and that's what I'm talking. Aaron Gunderson said, this is not a problem. You could do a big enough driveway so that you could turn around and leave facing forward. We're all good, because I've been backing out of it, and it is, challenging for sure. But if you're facing outward, you can see everything. You can see up that T.
You can see it.
Am I always trying to leave my driveway though? I'm not gonna be parked there the whole time.
No,
I'm
I'm
gonna be
saying,
way back.
I'm saying you can see everything from your drive. Even without a car there, we can't see.
That's because of the trees. So I just invite all of
No,
you.
there's
to
a
go
very
out
short.
there. Please go out there and look, because I have a pontoon sitting there. That would be where our cars would park. That's still gonna be bigger than our cars. And you do not, you can see very well past that. It's all trees. Can't see the road.
But it was deemed unbuildable, good reason.
It was
And
unbuildable.
two commission, and two the planning commission and the city council rejected it based on state.
Let's say there was no bluff. Would they deny us a building permit?
Okay, we can't speak.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
how could it be unsafe to just add a driveway? I feel like that's gonna happen on that road everywhere.
Those are hypotheticals. I'm not prepared to speak in.
That's fine. We have a driveway, is all I'm gonna say. It already exists. So they don't like to add one is a moot point, because we already have a driveway.
And just a question on that, and please. If it's not buildable, how was the driveway able to be put in?
I think it had something to do with that lift station thingy that's there, but I'm
You
not sure.
could put a camper there, a campsite.
Yeah, recreationally, you can do anything. I'm just saying we have it.
Access.
That was-
The driveway was already.
Can I just ask that any of you go look at the line of sight? Because
I was out there.
it's really not as restrictive as.
Yeah, that just passed it.
I walked by.
I've got pictures on both sides showing, I mean, obviously when my car is there, it is restricted, but that's because I'm parked 10 feet from.
And but it's not just that. I mean, it is that. I mean, we go out of our driveway, it takes us a bit to come out of our driveway. We just don't get out of our driveway. We look, listen, we go. There are multiple times that a car will be flying around the corner and they have to brake because the speed is not adhered to. It is, most everybody thinks it's 30. I thought it was 30 for the longest time. And it's 25.
I did
Well, it's
speak with the
30.
fire chief on this and asked for accidents on that corner. He said there's one. Accidents around there.
It's from the east. It's 25.
We gotta come back out of the weeds.
Back to business.
So another question I had is, what is the shed on the property?
What is what? The shed? Oh, it's just, yeah, some cutting trees, so I just, yeah, keeping the chains.
Is it permanent?
No, it's got literally guidelines. I mean, it's like, I can lift it up. If you want that out of there, I can move it, but, I just wanted to say too, the T, I get why that adds a little bit more complexity to the intersection. But we can see a quarter mile up it from our driveway. So we're not gonna be surprised by anybody, and obviously they have the right of way. As soon as they get through, then we go next. That's not really
The other,
For you.
the other question I have is,
we're not parked where I'm parking currently. We can park a whole 20 feet back. So that's not relevant.
But it's not
It's
buildable.
not an everyday.
Not buildable lot, so
It is the.
the other question I have is, were you informed when you bought it that it's not?
No, because it was a part of this, and that's why I talked to before Tabitha. Who did you fill in for after?
Mike,
Mike, yeah. He showed me if the ordinance has changed, I would not have built this if it was not buildable, or I would not bought this. There's no reason to have a recreational lot. He showed me the ordinance has changed. This is.
You're not the first person you went wrong to.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm an ordinance team, looking at all this stuff. It is buildable.
Okay, commissioners, any further discussion? If not, we'll move on to 8.2, 8.20 nuisances code with League of Minnesota Cities review.
so Adam and I have not had a chance to fully go through all of the requests from the League of Minnesota Cities. Just wanted to give you an update. That's what we're working through. If you see anything or have any input on any of the League of Minnesota Cities, please reach out and let us know. Because as soon as Adam and I have more time, we're working through it so that we have it clear.
I'm guessing, but what do the colors mean? Is the purple the comments from them?
Yes,
And what's the red?
I think the red was what we changed last time. But definitely like your input on anything that you see or notice on there as we go through it. Again, we haven't had much time. We've made it maybe through a couple of them, but that's just a short update. No discussion needed or
Get it done.
anything, so. Thank you.
All right, item 8.3, 13.88 shoreland ordinance.
Still working with SCH on this.
Perfect.
So we're waiting on their main impervious base engineer to give us different
Folks,
types of
Guys, can you
options.
take it outside if you're going to, please?
Thank you.
Yeah, 8.3.
Yeah, thank you. Working through that, we're just waiting on, they have specific engineers or something that works on impervious base materials. Different types of. Waiting on those confirmations. Then we'll be bringing it back.
All right, 9 ordinances for review in future.
We're working.
No, that's good. It's.
We're gonna get a little slammed right now. I work with SEH, our city's engineer, city's professional planner that, yep. Yeah,
And we knew going into the, with the merging of ordinance and planning that was gonna be a learning experience and get through things as we can get through things.
we already have 2 public hearings set for next month, just so you're aware.
So we-
Things are coming in hot.
That's good. Let me hear it. Yeah. Hey, commissioners' concerns, miscellaneous items, 10.1, Mr. Hagee, city's manufactured home ordinance.
Yeah, so I get calls quite a bit from people that are interested in purchasing a lot in town. And they'd like to put a manufactured home or a double wide or a tiny home or, so. I guess I'm curious to what the current restrictions are, or if any, if things allowed for manufactured homes, and if not, why not? I guess that's what I want to talk about.
So our city's ordinance, I put both of the ordinances on here after discussion with Rum River. And the way it's written is that we allow modular homes because they follow state and federal building code. Manufactured homes are manufactured by HUD, and they're a different set of codes that mostly don't follow state of Minnesota building code. And manufactured homes, their frames and wheels essentially stay on. Modular homes are dropped straight and have to be on a full foundation type style. That's what I got out of it. I have no idea. It's just what's there.
If a manufactured home is built in Arkansas, you can buy it, bring it up here. Because it's a HUD certified home, even though it doesn't meet any of the local
So that's the biggest concern is,
levels.
It has to be able to be dropped fully down onto a slab. Basement, whatever may be there, it has to be fully enclosed.
the park models, of course, then too are not.
They would have to probably apply for that conditional use permit if most park models are under 400 square feet. And I believe our ones in our
Yes, they're mostly 320 to 360, if I remember right.
yep, so then they would have to apply for a conditional use permit to have a tiny home.
So what if a manufactured home or a double wide does meet the Minnesota building code? And the wheels would be removed and it would be permanently affixed to a slab. Is that something that maybe they would apply for a variance in that case if they wanted that?
I don't know. I got the information from River, and they're the holders of and partial enforcement of our building code.
The Rum River is a big part of the reason why we have this in place right now.
No, this was put into place well before Rum River.
Okay.
There's just quite a few modular homes.
Yeah.
I had to figure out the difference between modular and manufactured, and
So, okay, so that's just
they
it.
explained it to me, and that's when they said, per this specific ordinance that the city holds, modulars are allowed, manufactured or not.
So the guy in Bruin that sells them up there wanted to put a few in Pine City,
Mhm.
and I told him, just call you.
Mhm.
And they basically just said, nope, it's not allowed. Because I think they thought because it has a metal frame under it, because all the wheels come off and it does permanently get fixed to the slab.
Yeah, usually they go up 2 blocks. They're gonna go up 2 blocks and they attach it to that. And then, yes, the metal frame is still underneath and the wheels do come off, but you're generally on a floating slab. Yeah.
I guess the reason I brought it up was, I think they've improved a lot. Not that I'm pro manufactured home, I'm not saying that.
Mhm.
But I think there's a pretty good segment of people that could really benefit from being able to buy one of these and put them in town. And a lot of them are really not, a lot nicer than a lot of the homes that we have in now.
I agree with all that. We've looked at buying manufactured outside of the city and putting them on lots too. And like, yeah, that we walked in with J&B or JB,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
They're really nice now. So that's something to be said, at least for fitting in with the community and looks and stuff like that. And, but yeah, when it comes to attaching, I guess
That's where the problem in lies from Rum River is it
Right.
needs to be fully
Right.
fixed.
There is a couple behind you, isn't it? Good luck. Before Beaver, what was that? Beaver Townhomes, that last street that runs east. of
Yep.
us.
No, I don't know about that.
Yeah, there's one that was put in.
I don't.
because you can't tell the difference between modular and manufactured, really, unless
I had to ask.
yeah, exactly.
It's just
modular.
the difference is a metal frame versus a wood frame underneath.
No, there's a lot of modular still have metal frame, it's just that they're built to, energy code
Yeah, right.
37.
So they said they don't meet manufactured doesn't meet energy code either, so.
I think that's maybe where the confusion is, because they have there in Maroon, all of those are 6-inch walls. They meet Minnesota building code, but they were told they can't put one of those in the city limits. But I think there might be there's some confusion.
I just asked for their interpretation of our code.
Oh, and I'm not blaming it on you.
Yeah, so I mean, if there's something that you guys want changed to be worked through, maybe provided.
Just an explanation of why, right? If,
Most cities do allow them, it's just.
Yeah, we do allow them, but yeah, the manufactured home park is literally the part of our code that it allows for.
The other reason is you don't have.
single wide, yeah, unless you had a width restriction of some sort.
So there's several nice lots around town that people want to put manufactured home on, but tastefully done. And they would actually improve the neighborhood, but they're just hitting a dead end, and maybe it's through Rum River. So that's why I thought maybe we should try to discuss it and see if we can allow.
Right, but yeah, this is just our city code, and I just reached out to Rum River to ask. That's all. I had no idea. So when they did call me that day, that's immediately who I went to, because I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna have to get back to you, because I'm not gonna try to interpret this, because
Yeah.
this to me doesn't.
Also manufactured home, if you set it on the foundation, it's actually not touching the foundation.
Yeah,
It sits up a little
It
bit.
is, it is up a little bit.
And a modular house actually sits down on the foundation strap. It's fastened in.
Anchor bolted in.
Yeah. Anchor bolted.
Versus, I think manufacturers are strapped, right?
Simpson engineered straps, but you're.
Yeah, yes.
They're actually not touching the foundation. You have your skirting there. You have your skirting around the outside, but you typically put like a thickened footing in the middle and then in 4 locations, and then they're sitting on block on top of that. So they pile block up on top of your slab, and then your runners that are underneath it are set on that.
Why do they not touch the foundation?
It's for air movement.
Okay,
So, so if you, and they're not, there's no strength on the outside of them because they're built on runners. So all the strength is built on the center. And with a modular, it's built like a house. So you're gonna, like a modular house, you're gonna have floor trusses. You're not gonna have steel. I mean, they might still have steel in them where your anchor points are, so that they can haul them down the road, but they're built differently. And a lot of modulars designed to go on a basement. So you can span 24 feet or 28 feet around the house. There is a big difference. There's not a big price difference. So if you're looking like dollar per dollar, per square foot per square foot. So, you know, it might be 10% more. Still gonna be cheaper than the custom.
There was a couple of them set up at the county fair last summer. One of them was kind of like a modern style, like a little mini.
The mono slope.
It was really cute. And I had, right after that, I had like a dozen people reach out to me looking for a lot that they can put something like that on, because they want to spend the summer here and then leave for the winter time. And they don't want a $300,000 home to do that with. So I know there's a need, but maybe we have to go out. And then the hard part is if you go outside the city, then the townships have like a 5 acre minimum. And so property owners don't want to sell 5 acres for any less than maybe 100 grand. And so then they're back up to their $300,000 house again. So there's a big need.
There's a big need and there's a big push towards them. I mean,
That's how people want to live.
it's
now.
gonna be, there's gonna be more and more people asking for modular and manufactured in the future because it's the only way to do it affordable.
The cost,
So
right?
would it be possible for me to ask that we make a recommendation to the city council that we maybe revisit the manufactured / modular home rule that we have in the city, that if it meets Minnesota building code, maybe we could allow it?
Allow us to pursue, get some information,
Mainly energy code, I think is probably the
definitions,
and
Yeah.
permanently fixed to the property.
but all that knowledge you just dropped.
Right.
So that it's understood. No, that's. really
Yeah, it's-
helpful.
It is.
Sorry, not to, just trying to interrupt.
But even like that little modern one that was at the county fair over here. I suppose that's considered a single wide or is it a park model?
I don't know, I didn't see it. But I was at the builder show in Florida last year and they had all kinds of new modular. They're doing nice. They got beam ceilings, they
Yeah,
got all kinds
It's pretty impressive.
Some of them have
custom cabinets.
flat roof just on an angle, with a high wall on the one side.
Yeah, the mono slope kind of design, yeah.
It don't look
Like cruise head,
They
yeah.
don't look like fish houses.
They don't.
Right.
They don't.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, again, if, you know, again, we're implored to try to find new and creative ideas, you know.
Well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That this would check that box, right? That if we're trying to find some more affordable housing, but, you know, bigger than the tiny home status, right? So,
We were able to get tiny homes. That was a lot of work and made that option available. This would be another density option.
mhm.
One problem that I have with Rum River is, of course, he wants to say no because there's no building permit that he's gonna make a profit on because he runs a for-profit business.
I think
Our
he's,
manufactured homes do have to have a building permit.
So
Just the planner do though.
The whole thing, they get the whole,
Yeah, but it's not the same as the planner do because it's certified, so they actually can.
I believe that they review.
But why?
They'll review
probably
this foundation.
So that brings up a really good point. So he's gonna make a profit on a building permit for a manufactured home that's 1/10 of the work
Right.
of a new
I
construction
think
home.
he just gave me the interpretation off of our code.
Sure.
These aren't set by him.
Yeah.
These
Yeah,
codes are
that's
not
just
set by
his-
him.
Sure.
interpretation.
His only inspection on that would be a footing.
Then,
So that was an official motion
Yeah, I would like
Just
to make that motion, yeah.
Bring it to council
to pursue,
to do more research and bring back an updated ordinance.
actually.
yeah, potential, you know, if we run into snags that make sense, like, oh, wow, that makes sense. So, but I think we should take the time to review it. I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? I'd just like to say, I think this was a really, I'm appreciative that you brought this forward, because again, with the density, like you stated, you know, to offer all density and price levels and service housing in any way that we can. If this is a potential path forward, I think it's really well worth exploring.
It's certainly worth investigating, but I really don't think the people that live on Ninth Street would want you to pop on those down on Ninth Street,
9th Street. Which one? Which one?
southwest.
I have to look
Oh,
on that.
over,
North of our Redeem.
Or south, yeah, north of our,
Yeah.
Oh, no, right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, maybe you need a park
But
or something like that.
there's a few open lots over by Ryberg's that have been sitting for sale forever. And the trees are starting to fall down and so there's not a lot of real nice homes, right? I don't mean to offend anybody. There's some disrepair in the neighborhood and a new, nice manufactured home with a garage and would clean those lots up and it would get them sold and get them on tax roll for the city. So
Just a question for my own knowledge, are most of these requests or inquiries that you're getting, are these for lots that are traditionally non-buildable in town or
well,
cost prohibitive to build?
what's happening with these, like these particular lots, one of them I have had for sale for like a year and a half. And what's happening is people look at it and they do the math to get the sewer connected, get the water connected, clear the lot, get the site, and then to build a home, they're at like $400,000 and it's over budget.
Do you have Paul?
Yeah,
Cause I know his was approved to be able to do a well.
yep, so that's one of them. And right next door to his lot is another one that's been for sale forever. And so even I've talked to some builders about doing an inexpensive home in there and put it up for sale. And it's just, they can't do it for under like 300,000. So then I end up with people that call me and say, I have a manufactured home picked out that I want to buy. And it would be perfect on that lot. The property owner wants to sell it.
And that's an R1 too, right? Those Rybergs are in R1s, I think.
So I just thought, to tell them no is kind of a bummer for the property owner. as well
Is
as
there
the
two
person who
lots,
wants
one
to buy
right
it.
next to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we talked about that a
That
little
saves
bit.
the money.
Yeah. One of them.
But to your
Are
point,
we allowed to?
Considering zones might be something that, if we're allowed to go forward, would be something that or as well as part of the process.
Well,
that makes
Can they
sense.
do a variance for these right now? I mean, if this is gonna take a little bit of time, I mean,
Yeah, maybe that's an option. Apply for a variance for a manufactured home in a specific spot.
yeah. I mean, maybe we could call out specific sizes or minimum requirements or something for it, just a thought, I don't know, or a conditional use permit of some sort.
Yeah, if it meets the building code.
Yeah, I think a conditional use permit over a variance, because you have to have. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that there,
Okay.
sorry.
All right, any other discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Any other commissioner concerns or miscellaneous items? Now, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion from Luke,
second.
second from Chris. Motion is second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.